people are already, relating this issue into ethnicity situation.
Okay.
Now, people are already saying that, it is because GTBank is a Yoruba-owned brand. That is why GTBank orchestrated his arrest and all that. And I feel like stuff like that, statements like that, would keep dividing the unity in the country.
No, there's no unity.
Okay, there's no.
They already divided country.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Veegilant podcast. I'm always thrilled to be here, and today we're talking about civic matters as usual, and we're talking from people's perspective, different perspective. I'm your host, Olaitan Babatunde, and with me, as usual, is the melanin goddess, melanin popping and dripping, the vibe goddess herself, Olaitan Adebayo. And let me not forget, now she's a certified presenter. How are you, Olaitan? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's actually nice to see you here
Yeah,
today
it's
again.
been a while. It's
It's
been
been a while. I miss you on the show. All right, so today we're talking about a civic matter,
right.
one which is actually important, and because if we do not look at these issues, it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to call out the people who are doing the wrong. That is if they're in the wrong, actually. So it looks like the EFCC are on arrest spree.
Yeah.
Because recently they picked the online activist, VeryDarkMan, and he is known to have, spoken for people on behalf of people. He had made sure that people, I think skincare vendors that are selling without NAFDAC approval, he has called them out severally.
Has done a lot.
Yeah, he has done a lot. Although sometimes I feel like he's overdoing some things.
When it comes to Nigerians, we have this excess
Yeah.
of excesses, now.
Because there were times he was calling out Iyabo Ojo, and I think it was even during this Mohbad case 2 years ago.
Yes,
he was
yes,
calling
he
her
did
out.
that.
He was calling out Tonzodike, Bobby Risky.
I guess that was the time he came around and become popular.
Yeah,
and all of
popular.
that.
And even last year, there was an issue between himself and Femi Falana, where he accused him.
And we talked about
it on the show. But now EFCC arrested him, and there's been news from media outlets which they debunked, which they said it was a right over time. But luckily for him, he's been released. He got released recently too.
God.
But actually, which I just felt like it is something that we need to talk about. It's something that we need to look into. Why did they arrest him? And even if they had the right to arrest him, now he was detained for 5 days. He was behind bars for 5 days. Now let me tell you what the law said about arresting an accused. So according to the law, section 35(4) of the 1999 Constitution state that any person who is arrested or detained shall be brought before a court of law within a reasonable time. And if he is not tried within 2 months from the state of his arrest or detention in the case of a person who is in custody or is not entitled to bail, it shall be without prejudice to any further proceeding that may be brought against him, be released either unconditionally upon such conditions as are reasonable, necessarily to ensure that he appears for trial at a later date. So in summary, when you arrest an accused, they're not supposed to be there more than 48 hours, except you have court order.
Yeah.
Now, the EFCC are not saying if they have court orders or not, but then they kept him behind bars for 48 hours, and they said they have the right to arrest him.
No, they even said they have this court order, but they were not being transparent about
it. Yeah, so now, people like Davido, Showore, Atiku, and they came out to say that they should release him.
Now, I even watched online, even Frank Tete, a lawyer, and this journalist, Rufai Hussaini, they actually questioned the legality of this detention. Is this the right approach by EFCC? But they are not even answering. There's different opinions online. People are talking, this person is coming. We don't even know the main issue causing problem.
The problem now. And that is what brings us to this critical question. Why was VDM arrested? And why is the EFCC, what is the EFCC trying to protect or expose? Is there something that we don't know that they're not saying? Or is it that probably there's government backing somewhere? This VDM has stepped on toes when it comes to people in government.
Yes.
This could be another means of, putting him behind bars
Even the
and
situation
break his wings.
even the situation of Femi Falana, for him to go to that extent, I think
Yeah,
he
he went too far.
apologized.
He apologized. He went too
Apologized.
far with Femi Falana case, and I think then I even said that if you do not have evidence, you don't have the right to call people out like
The guy
that.
just blabs
Yeah,
a lot.
he blabbed. Really, I feel like to an extent, as much as he's not doing some things that are, he's doing things that are not right sometimes. But I feel like sometimes he is on the right path. And this leads me to my first question to you. Can the EFCC lawfully arrest and detain someone like VDM without clearly stating the allegation upfront, or does this amount to violation of his fundamental human right?
I would say because the situation that surrounds his arrest and all of that, I would say, okay, fine, because in Nigeria, within 24 hours, after 24 hours, you must actually, without a court order, you have to like
Yeah,
release the
release him.
person. And even his lawyer came out and said, okay, fine, they actually violated his fundamental human rights. They didn't say anything. And it was, I think, in the prison for him
For 5 days.
for 5 days, and he didn't say anything. And they keep questioning the EFCC, okay, fine, what is wrong? Why is everything happening? And they didn't say, they're not just being transparent about anything. And this is actually like making people to come up with different opinions, and people are actually protesting. They're giving this guy, like, how will I put it, a strong backing. Like, people are talking more about VDM. Even people that don't even like VDM before now like
They
VDM.
not like him.
Why do you can't arrest somebody without actually saying what is the actual cause of the arrest. You can't just put somebody behind bars without having a clear reason. And people asking what is the main issue. You're not saying anything. It's more or less like you are hiding something you don't want people to know. And you're meant to be somebody, or like an organization of the law, a commission of the law, and you're not being explicit about what is going on. What do you want people like? Okay, VDM is actually a celebrity, if I'll put it that way. He's an influencer. If you can arrest somebody like VDM, what if it happens to just an ordinary Nigerian?
person
We have lots of
would
people that are
forget the
behind
person
bars. I
behind
actually
bars.
heard somebody that said journalists are behind bars because they actually wrote something about somebody, or because they
government.
don't have backing, they don't have people that want to talk about it. That most of them are just rotting in the jail. Like, that's not a right approach. You
So
understand?
I think with what you just said now, it's more like they are violating his human right as a
Yes.
person, which is actually wrong. Because when you, okay, I think the story started from when they said he got arrested in GTBank for going to the bank to complain
Like,
about the issue
what's
with
the
his
correlation?
sincerely, and then he was detained, and there's been a lot of stories going on,
Like,
but then the EFCC are not being clear about
it's just like different stories. Like, somebody will come up today and say, okay, fine, something like this happened. Another person will say something. We don't have this. Like, there's not like a press statement, a press release to say, okay, fine, this is why we arrested VDM. He did this, he did that. You're not open about it. So what's the main issue? It's not even right at all. And so, which brings us to this question: if VDM ignored EFCC's invitation as a claim, because they actually claimed that they invited him, he didn't go, does this legally justify arrest and prolonged detention, especially without a formal charge or court appearance?
All right. I think if we should look at it, EFCC are majorly in charge of fraudulent act. They are supposed to, look deep into that. But then, according to them, or the news they later debunked, he was arrested for cyberstalking. And I think alleged misuse of money and all of that.
I'll come in that aspect. I'll come in that angle. I'm coming.
All right, so I think that is one of the reasons why they arrested him. But when we're talking about cyber stalking, it is not in their own jurisdiction to arrest him. Whoever would have the authority to do that is people working in the cyber act unit. So if the EFCC had arrested him, definitely I want to believe that probably there's a collaborative work between the cybercrime unit and the EFCC
But they're not
to
saying
arrest him.
anything
But they're not
about
saying
it.
anything.
They even accused him of money laundering.
Yeah,
And
they
he
did.
came when they released him. He already made how VDM can be.
He
Now,
will
like,
come out straight up and
it
talk.
was like he used his lawyers, I think, for when they immediately were coming. It was
Yeah.
like they accused me of money laundering. Me, we no get money. You're saying that you say that kind of thing. How can you accuse somebody? We are not sure about it, but they should have said something. Okay, fine. Before even it was actually released. Now we are only hearing VDM's part. We're not hearing anything from the EFCC. Like,
so, and I feel like according to the law, they do not have the right to detain him for that long because
like 5
the
days.
law did not agree to that. Although when there is need for forensic investigation, they can detain him for that, so that probably he would not run away and all of that. But then I feel like there is no need for forensic investigation here. It's not as if someone died or anything.
Yeah.
So
In Nigeria, oh my god.
so there was no need to detain him for that long. And I would like to know, people, that there's this thing about people feeling like GT Bank also orchestrated his
Yeah,
arrest.
arrest.
And then, they feel like there's a what do you think about the relationship between financial institution and law enforcement? Because when we look at it now, financial institutions are serving the people, if we're to say, because
Okay.
if the people are not putting their money there,
They can't
there's
eat.
no job.
There's no job for
So,
some
but now
people.
in this case, with the look of things, and because we do not even have clarity about the whole thing, do you think that what they did is not infringing on his privacy? Because if the EFCC gained access to VDM because he went to the bank, it
Okay.
means that the GTBank, in one way or the other, gave out his information, told them of his presence at GTBank. So, what do you think about that?
When that thing happened, GTBank hasn't released any statement.
haven't
They
said
haven't said
anything.
anything that okay, fine. But I feel that when it comes to financial institution and the law, where the law comes in financial institution, probably they suspect something somebody
Fraudulent
of fraudulent
act,
act. Of
yeah.
like, okay, fine, you can come to the bank to do this. Some people like use their accounts to actually collect some certain money, and they'll just tell the person, okay, fine, we notice this act in your accounts. Can you come to the bank? But immediately you get to the bank, they just give you 2 portion. You just go to the police station and collect it. But in VDM case, they said there's no like any clear, like there's no connection.
Yeah.
Because even GTBank, the way they've been trolling, dragging
Like,
GTBank, they've not said anything. Like
anything
they've
up
not
to
said
now.
anything about it. So there's no clear reaction. Like there's no clear
Evidence or
evidence
correlation from them.
They haven't said anything, and EFC has not even said. So this thing is like the picture is not clear. We don't know why, and even VDM has not said anything about. Okay, fine, I went to the GTBank because of this and that. He hasn't said anything, so we don't know any evidence that okay, fine, GTBank was the one that produced the information.
All right.
So, which actually brings this question: like, do Nigerians have the right to protest and arrest like this? And could their protests have any legal or social impact on VDM cases? Because we've seen many people, they're already protesting online, people are already doing different videos. Even some people are using this means to actually become popular. Okay, fine, let me just talk about VDM case. Okay,
yeah.
I can be popular like this now. Let me be an influencer like this. You understand that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So some people are not doing this just for the good of their arts. They're
Yeah.
just doing just because I want to trend. So do you think this arrest, like this protest, is actually a normal thing?
Okay, so I feel like protest is the right of the people. I mean, peaceful protest. I'm not talking about the one where they vandalize things, but peaceful protest is the right of the people. And then we protest when we feel like things are not sitting right with us. And I wonder why Nigerians are not even protesting with the increase in, I think, data tariff. They're not protesting for reduction in the price of things in the market. People feel, I just feel like they've accepted it as a lot and they're moving on with it. But then I feel like this protest is a good one because it opens people's eye to see that when people are suffering injustice, there are people that can still stand up for them. And I feel like this is what the EFCC might not really understand because they're already putting VDM in this position of a hero in Nigeria.
right.
Someone who people do not really like
Like
as
him,
such
yes.
because they feel like he blabbers a lot. And now these same people are coming out to say, release him. There's a video of Mackenzie that I saw that, he went to this it's not really billboard of bats where he says that the voice of people matters. And, he was saying that when you say the voice of people matter during your tenure, the voice of the people is in the prison. So it means that there is this respect they're giving to VDM now. People are seeing him as, oh, it is because he wants to speak for Nigerians.
And that guy
is why,
is very arrogant.
sincerely,
when he comes out, you start
so
speaking.
even when we don't even know the notion behind in doing some of the videos he's doing, right now the people are saying it as the government are against him because he's talking about them. So it means that in one way or the other, they are even the one giving him the backing, indirectly.
He didn't pay for it.
He didn't pay for it, but they're giving him that backing because people are now supporting him and they are saying that what he's doing as right because people are not happy with the government. So whatever action the government are taking to silence people, even if that person is in the wrong, people feel like government just want to silence you.
Yeah.
So I feel like the protest is necessary because it could happen to anybody. I'm not saying I'll go out there to protest and all of that.
You can go.
But then it could actually happen to anybody.
But for me, when it comes to protest, I feel that Nigerians actually misuse the opportunity because I can actually remember the NSAS matter when everything was going on. At first, it was a peaceful protest.
Protest,
At
yeah.
first, it was about, okay, fine, end bad governance and all of that. But the moment people they started bringing food, they started bringing. So people
Yeah.
actually went there to, okay, let me use my
Sweet
money.
and sleep.
Like, that's why you usually, like, when it comes, okay, fine, you talked about the Mark Angel stuff. I'm not saying that is not actually a good thing, but I feel
Yeah.
that celebrities are even using this medium to trend. They're actually
Sincerely.
using this medium to trend. So I don't know. For me, I really don't think that protest is actually a good part
To take,
because people
right?
can start doing rubbish with
Misusing it,
this
yeah, and then
protest.
vandalizing things. Now, so in this case now, where VDM is a known person, at least to an
If you put
extent,
it that way,
as a known person is being silenced or detained because of a situation, what message does this send to Nigerian youth? Because I feel like this will create fear in the mind of people who knows that they don't have backing.
okay.
So this kind of thing, this kind of situation, what message do you think it sends to the people of Nigeria?
Okay, I want you to clear that notion of fear because when it comes to youths of nowadays, Gen
Yeah.
Zs, we don't have fear.
We don't care.
We don't care. We don't have fears. We don't have fears. Like we come
Yeah.
online, and you know the fact. Okay, fine, we just come online to after our data, we have 250 MB. We come on Twitter to type whatever we want to type.
Yeah.
They don't have fear. Like okay, fine. The fact that it happens to VDM does not mean another person won't come up tomorrow to say something. But there are some people that won't say anything. Like I said earlier, the journalists, people like a lot of people are behind bars and they don't have anybody to like support them and all of that. But the moment you come to Twitter and this person be like, okay, fine, I said this, they've arrested this person because he said this and all of that, people will like try and say, okay, fine, we need to support this
Supporting,
person and
yeah.
all of that. I feel that even with this app, like with what happened, it will actually like make more people to talk, make more people say, okay, fine, we don't want this, we don't want this, and all of that. Because we have lots of people that like I think EFCC actually go to some homes to actually
Yeah,
arrest
arrest
people that have to
people.
feel okay, fine, this is a Yahoo boy and all of that. Like they just like arrest people. I think there was one time I was traveling, I saw EFCC on the road. And I was like, okay, fine, what is EFCC doing on the road? I don't know if that is actually their
Jurisdiction.
jurisdiction.
I don't think
Why
so.
would they be on the road? Like, why will you be on the road? Why? What is happening? Why are you on the road?
And I feel like they have more connections with people who like financial institution, because they are majorly supposed to be seen in their office tracking down some monies that we feel like okay these people are trying to launder money
Funny how is
or
that
stuff.
when they arrest somebody today, you be like, okay, fine, now they've arrested. You say, okay, fine, we arrested 25 last school students. I'm sorry, last school students. You have arrested 20 illegal students. And then you be like, okay, later after
What happened?
then you will see the guy that they arrested that carry
Still
this signature board of okay, fine, you don't arrest me. You will see them like just like they will actually like release them. So what's the point? Are you guys doing your job?
Sincerely, it just feels like it has gotten to a point where I feel they're misusing their power.
They just want to be talked about like
Yeah,
EFCC today,
EFCC
about
tomorrow.
the Ponzi scheme to that Civic issue.
Yeah, they were
EFCC
there.
was there. Like,
Or-
why are you everywhere?
I think I also want to talk about this thing. People are already, relating this issue into ethnicity situation.
Okay.
Now, people are already saying that, oh, it is because GTBank is a Yoruba-owned brand. That is why GTBank or orchestrated his arrest and all that. And I feel like stuff like that, statements like that would keep dividing the unity in the country.
No, there's no unity.
Okay, there's no
We already divided
divided
country.
okay, the
That's
already
what I mean.
divided country, and I'd like to say that I think people need to take note of the statement they make, not because you want to gain popularity.
Yeah.
Please always take note that there are some things that you say. GT Bank in one way or the other have the right to collaborate with EFCC, because EFCC, what they majorly do is fraudulent act. And when we're talking about fraudulent act, we're talking about getting money in an illegal way. But actually, the problem now is the fact that EFCC are not saying anything. But regardless, I feel like GT Bank are not supposed to be going through that. So because of that, are you saying that you as an Igbo guy will not use GT Bank again and leave it for and leave it for Yoruba people, which I feel like it is not necessary. So I just want us to stop this ethnocentric statement that is going round. Now, let's talk about the fact that Yabo Ojo,
Okay.
also known as Queen Mother,
Okay.
and there's one thing about Queen Mother. Whenever you see that black bonnet on her head. You know
That
that
there is something
trouble is brewing.
But let me go. I'll go bring up my black bonnet.
So now she got an invitation to
Okay.
come to the EFCC, you know, to come meet them. And then she honored the invitation on
Like
like
video.
VDM. And then, you know, she was questioned. She was asked some questions about why they sprayed naira and dollars during our daughter's wedding.
Okay. Oh, it is even recent.
Yeah, it's recently. She wrote a press release which actually saw,
Okay.
where she kind of addressed the issue and said that she didn't know that spraying of money, because what she believed is mutilation of naira. Probably you're matching it, you're tearing it.
Yes.
That is what's wrong. But then spraying of money, because I saw the videos during the wedding, I would even say they really sprayed because they were just putting the bundles on them, you know, putting it inside bag and all
I
that.
guess there's another like there's something behind the invitation because
Okay.
they should have okay fine like you said the spraying is not is it
And in
legally
Nigeria, we know that spraying of money is the highlight of a one day.
that's it.
That is the
But,
highlight.
like probably because they are spraying in bundles.
Okay,
So they
that's
won't, like,
another
fine.
problem.
Why are you spraying in bundles? What are you doing? What exactly are you doing? Is it acting that you are doing that is spraying
There's
in bundles?
okay.
So probably they might be looking into this angle of money laundering. Okay, fine, what is happening? Why are people spraying in bundles? This is
Yeah.
not even this is away from the naira mutilation and naira like damaging and all of that. There might be like another reason for the invitation. You understand?
And this is just away from this whole situation now. I heard from someone that to produce naira, this currency, they even spend much more. Let's assume they want to produce 100 million naira. They spend more than 100 million naira to produce it. And then looking at that event, looking at them spray bundles of money, and I'm sure that with that kind of event, these people are leaving that place with millions of naira.
Yeah.
Where are they getting the money from? Majority of the people that are there are actors, actresses, and all of
They might
that.
have behind the scene business that
Okay,
we don't know. Let's
I'd
keep it
like
at
to,
that.
I'd like to believe that. I like to believe that, but then this woman was also at the forefront of the justice for Mohbad 2 years ago. May
Okay.
his soul rest
Rest in
in peace. And although he hasn't been buried, but we still pray for peace for him. Yeah, up to now he hasn't been buried.
lot.
So, like, I'd like to know, why is EFCC suddenly cracking down on celebrities for spraying money at events? Is this a genuine and legal concern?
You know, I already said it that okay, fine. This is not about legit and like concern and
Yeah.
all of that. It's more or less like probably they are suspecting this person of probably money laundering and all the fraudulent act, but they don't have this tangible evidence to back it up. So it's more or less like, okay, fine, you're spraying money. Let's just bring you in. Through questioning and all of that, there might be some or through investigation,
Yeah.
something might pop up like okay, fine, okay, this laundering money and all of that. But then they don't have because it's more or less like they're on shopping spree for celebrities. You know, we go on shopping spree to buy. Now we have on shopping spree or anything.
I
like,
think they called in AY Makuntu.
Yes.
But that one, it was actually matching on
that
Naira. So
actually
that
was-
one is.
But it's almost like every time, like okay, fine, this person was invited to EFCC's office to for spraying money for, and then Bobrisky to actually they invited him. He actually
was there.
spent
He was there.
months at the hotel
behind bars over there.
Yes, so
Yeah.
like different. They are just like they don't pick normal people. They pick celebrities mostly. I've never seen them pick up probably normal Nigerians or people. During Obi Kubanas, okay, they actually
Yeah.
didn't spray, but that one was spraying in boxes. They were spraying in boxes. So what is happening? Why are they like majorly like fixated on celebrities? Like it's actually an alarming question that nobody can answer. It's only EFCC that can answer the question.
But I think on the other side, if we're to look at it, it's just a way of letting people know that regardless of who you are, the constitution can still pick you up. We always believe in Nigeria that the constitution and law is for the poor. But as much as EFCC is overdoing it, I still feel like to a point that I feel like they might be trying to drive home a point that no matter the position you hold, no matter who you are, you can still be tried.
Okay, do you know that they can actually be doing this because okay, fine. So that point, some people be like, EFCC is actually seeing these people doing this thing,
Yeah.
but they're not arresting them. And another person will come up and because after they invite Yabojo,
Yeah.
what next?
Now
Nothing.
but I think they told her that they might bring her in for more questioning. But
You know that one is a lie. That one is a lie. So which other things are spraying money is actually a cultural form in Nigerian parties, like
Yeah.
you said, the urban ways.
It's the highlight now.
Spraying money without in like if there's no spraying money in an OMB event,
Yeah.
what's it?
What's the
So does
point?
this mean many Nigerians could be actually like taken behind bars for tradition they've actually practiced for decades? Because this spraying of money has been in existence for a very long time, majorly in
Yeah.
the Yoruba part and Igbo part. Like it's
Igbo men during their
Igbo
wedding.
the spray
No,
money.
the spray
So this
money.
actually means that okay, fine, everybody that sprays money now, like okay, oh yeah, oh, two portion.
Yeah, I feel like one thing that we need to understand is when we call something tradition, it is something that you've been doing for the
A long
longest time.
time.
So Nigerians believe that when you're in an event, at an event, spraying money, that shows your worth, that shows who you are. But now
Yeah.
if the EFCC is coming to say that if you're spraying money, we would arrest you, I think they need to focus more on creating awareness, creating campaigns
That
to
supports
enlighten people.
people.
Even a celebrity said that she thought tearing of naira, matching naira
Naira.
is mutilation of naira. That is
No,
what
they actually
she.
did this what's it called? A campaign for it. But you know we Nigerians we don't listen. This law or this act has been in existence for a very, very long
Yeah,
time. I guess it's recently that yes, are just like, okay, fine, we have to like
hammering on it
we have
that
to
they
start
want to.
arming.
Yeah.
But then and they actually fixated on these celebrities because they know that they are the people that actually do this. And if they do this, another person will see them,
We say it
their
and do
fans will
it.
see them, and they want to do the same thing at their own small gatherings.
Yeah.
And they actually arrest those people without having backing.
Yeah, I feel like to an extent, as much as she said that they're creating awareness, me as a person, I haven't come across their campaigns. So I feel
Yeah.
like instead of just picking people up when they don't even understand what they're doing wrong, why not create more awareness? Now, after creating awareness that is in everybody's eyes, is in your
Some
face,
people will still
you are
do.
saying it. No, at that point, when they pick you up, even the people will be like, now you know the year
No,
word
people
though.
won't say that, especially if it's their favorites. They'll be like, no, no, he didn't do it. He actually did it. She actually did that part. People actually like say something that doesn't actually like align. They want to
Yeah.
support their favorites now.
Okay, so with platform like TikTok and Instagram, where it's you can monetize things. Like I think Facebook also does that now, where you
Yes.
can monetize your likes, your comments, your followers. Do you think that people are now shifting from advocacy to performance? Because majority, like you said earlier, that some people are on the internet talking about VDM not
Just
because they like him, but because they want to gain traction. Do you think that people are already shifting from advocating, like genuine advocacy, to just trying to get income
yeah.
via the
I
platforms?
would say it's like a two-way something. Some people are actually there because of the let me see the real thing,
Yeah.
let me see it. But there are most people, especially the Gen Zs, are actually like doing it for performance, especially on TikTok and everything. Because I remember during this federal government with the coppers and all of that, that
Yeah.
this girl came out to talk
To
about,
talk
and
about
people
it.
started talking about 30 days rants. Let me do my own 30. They actually did it. I actually know about a TikTok, one TikToker that actually did it just because people are telling his fans are actually telling him to do that. Okay, fine, do this thing. He doesn't even understand what the stuff actually meant then.
Yeah.
Just want, okay, fine, my fan said I should do it, let me do it. Some people are jumping on stuff they are not meant to talk about. But because they know that, okay, fine, if I talk about this, people will talk about me and I will get more likes. I can actually get more endorsements, more brand,
Yeah.
whatever. But let me just do it. They're not even like this VDM cases. Some people did it, like I said earlier, to actually get more people to talk about them.
About them,
I
yeah.
actually saw some people I've not seen in my life
Okay.
actually on like my
Your
FYP
FYP
and talking about VDM. So we don't even have the knowledge of what
of
is
what's
happening. They
going
just want to
on.
like, let me just talk. If I talk, they will repost it, they will keep reposting it, and then people will come to my page and they will like it. So I would say people are doing it for performance, especially even celebrities are actually doing some certain things for performance, especially when during that Mobile case, people actually
Yeah.
did a lot of things just because they want to like stay on the trend,
Yeah.
not because of okay, fine. They actually pitied the situation. They actually did it for performance. That's
All right. I think this episode shows us as transparency has to be key in everything that we do, because looking at it, if the EFCC had been transparent about this from the get-go, the people would have not had the issue of protesting. There would be no case of talking and backlashing the EFCC, because a lot of people stood up for VDM, and then I just feel like EFCC gave him a non-paid adverts and heroism award. So I just feel like in everything that we do, there should be transparency. And this is to VDM. We hope that you will keep advocating for the people genuinely, not a performance. And that will be all on today's episode of Veegilant Podcast. I'm still your host, Olaiton Babatunde, and with me in the studio has been Olaiton Adebayo. Thank you very much for joining me on today's
You're
episode.
welcome. It's been
Yeah,
a
it was
pleasure.
really a nice one. And let's also shout out to our producer at Toby Loba and also Paul Owolawi. Until next time, do have a great day. Bye.